Alright guys, have you had a day when you come out, you hit that backhand, come to the forehand side and all of a sudden, oh my gosh, my elbow. You got a tennis elbow. Well, did you know that most of the players that get elbow problems are amateur players? Well, tell me, why do you think that is? All the professional players have a much better technique, you can assume that obviously. So when they hit the ball, it's clean, the point of contact is way in front of them at the right place, they use their strong muscles, so usually professional players never get tennis elbows. And most of the time when they do get hurt, it could be just one shot. When the serve comes 150 miles an hour and they hit the ball at the frame, maybe not focused enough, then they could get an injury. It could be a bad injury. But most of 90% of the time it's at amateur level. So why would that happen? Because you're hitting the ball late, or you're hitting the ball too close to you, or you're muscling the ball, your strokes are just not clean enough. And some players never take a chance to go and actually take a lesson and learn appropriate technique, so they learn all the bad habits. So you might have heard, hey, how about we play with the red ball today? It's a lot softer. Or an orange ball, so it's not that hard on your arm, and it will put synthetic strings on your racket, so it's going to get even easier. That is the problem. My racket is the problem, my strings are the problem. Maybe a little softer balls will help. Hey, come on guys, this is not what we're going to do. I want you to learn appropriate technique first. So if you're really beginner, you just start playing tennis, you should take lessons. It's very important for you. Get a best coach you can. Invest in yourself so you don't get hurt. Majority of injuries happens because of lack of knowledge of how you have to play tennis. It's only an assumption. You don't see yourself how you play. A lot of times you just generate a lot of bad habits and you start hitting bad. But we'll give you a few tips here for general ideas of what are you supposed to do, what can help you to prevent that tennis elbow. So number one, let's start with ground strokes. So a lot of times, especially in the forehand or backhand side, let's start with the forehand. So when you hit a forehand, a lot of times people muscle. They hold their racket so tight that puts a lot of pressure on your whole arm. So their swing is disconnected with their body. So players get set up, they completely plant, their body is not moving through the ball, and after that they just smack the ball with their arm. They finish really short, puts a lot of pressure on your elbow, your wrist, and your shoulder. So those three things would get, at a certain point you might get hurt. Especially if you put a lot of hours on the court hitting the same wrong shot, it'll put so much pressure to the point where you're gonna get hurt. So what are you supposed to do? Make sure you swing in nice and relaxed and your swing is connected. Your footwork is connected to your swing. You're getting set up appropriately. You turn your shoulders. You keep the ball way away from the body towards the net. A lot of people think that if it's in front of them, when they turn sideways towards the side fence, that's a big mistake because you're going to be muscling the ball. So it's towards the net in front of you, and you transfer your body weight into the ball. So you're using your strong muscles. Then your swing is going to be nice and relaxed. You're holding your racket just enough not to lose it. As far as you hit the ball in the sweet spot, you'll have no problem. Obviously your racket might open or close when you hit the ball away from the sweet spot. You just have to watch the ball. Now let's assume you're hitting a backhand side now, right? Same concept. If you're one-handed back and you're hitting the ball too close, you start muscling, which will cause the elbow problems more than even on the forehand side, because this is the muscle you're going to use here, right there where the tennis elbow is. So you're going to hit the ball too close. Again, hit the ball out in front, use big muscles, use legs, your back muscles rather than your arm. Your arm is just an extension. You want to be as relaxed as possible, getting under the ball, and make sure you hit the sweet spot. In order to hit a sweet spot, you just have to watch the ball consistently when you play tennis. Two-handed backhand maybe not as much because you actually help him with your left hand, so it takes some pressure away from your elbow, but still same concept. You got to keep the ball out in front, use your strong muscles, use your legs, and swing through the ball. Now we're going to go to volleys. Very common. A lot of people, when they get a little easier ball, they swing down and they have the wrist, the elbows coming up, which also causes a lot of problems. Your volleys should be very simple, keeping the racket out in front of you, making sure the point of contact is in front. You're using your legs as well. Make sure you step into the ball when you hit that volley on the forehand or backhand side. And make sure you're not overswinging. All those extra swings will create a problem where you will have hard time timing the ball, and you will keep the ball too close to you, and then you're going to overswing, maybe hit close to the frame, will cause a lot of damage in your elbow. On the serve, there's very common mistake when people toss the ball and their elbow comes down, which brings a lot of pressure on their elbow, so they have the pulling motion before they hit, which causes a lot of injuries in the elbow. As well as overcompensating. Some people focus on pronation, which you should pronate, but it has to be natural and really relaxed swing, and they actually muscle that swing. And what happens, they also causes tennis elbow. Another thing is supination. Some people actually do the opposite of pronation. As they swing through the ball, they pull the racket in. So what happens, your set of muscles that's supposed to relax, they're relaxing to the point of contact, the other ones are pulling, and all of a sudden they have to change the roles, and the other muscles start pulling in, the other ones relaxing. So it creates the conflict in your swing, and it puts so much stress on your elbow. So those things can help you out, but most important is staying relaxed. Make sure your points of contact in front of you. But if you're a total beginner, I would suggest to take tennis lessons with the pros around you. It will help you out so much. Invest in yourself, get better first, and you will even understand what the other pros on YouTube channels talk about, and you can actually relate to the information, because a lot of times people might assume what we talk about, but you have to have at least basic knowledge of what you have to be working on. And if your technique is appropriate, you will not have tennis elbow. Alright guys, I hope it helped you. Good luck in your matches and your lessons and anything. Now, before you check out, please like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Also, look on the link below. We'll have a course for you that is going to help you out a lot, and it's totally free. You just have to get it. And thank you so much.